So welcome everyone. If you're just joining us, we are so excited live here to be talking about Social Media Marketing World 2016 with the fabulous, wonderful Mike Stelzner. And we were just talking about how hard it is to get back into the swing after such an amazing, crazy time conference. It was great.
Absolutely. And everybody share this out.
Yep.
And we probably should put that. Oh yeah, it looks like it just works automatically. Yeah, it's been like we're getting ready for another launch here in a week, and it's like, how do we do it? Crazy.
Right. I know there's just so much activity, and it was so fun. Just go for. I think I got about 4 hours of sleep each night. So yeah, and welcome if you're just joining us. We're talking about Social Media Marketing World, some takeaways with our fabulous host Mike. So Mike, tell us a little bit about the how many people were there? What was the what was the total? Was it around 3,000?
The total number was like 2,950. So I was going to say 3,000.
Round up.
I'm a marketing person.
That is so
and then there was definitely more than 3,000 if I count everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not counting everybody. There was another 1,100 people who purchased Vertex, and then there were also just all the behind the scenes people. I mean, literally probably 500 to 1,000 more people in the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, tons of volunteers who had to make that all happen. I mean, there was tons. How many volunteers did you guys have? It must have been hundreds.
On the volunteer side, we had about 100. No, we had about 70 volunteers. But like I'm talking like the other people that you don't even see, like the people that are working the inner halls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Behind the scenes that are moving, setting things up, production personnel, food people. I mean, it's just a massive undertaking.
Yeah.
The city of San Diego was very impressed. That I can share some statistics about what happened if you're interested.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to hear it.
Our reach almost hit 1 billion on Twitter.
Wow.
And we had 84,500 tweets. And we also had 5,400 Instagram pictures that were posted. And I think that it's funny.
4,500 Instagram pictures?
5,400, yeah.
Oh, 5,400. Okay.
Yeah. And it's interesting when you think about, technically 3,000 people is a lot, but it's also small in the grand scheme of things, right?
Yeah.
But when you take the reach of all the different people that were there from all the various disciplines and walks, right? Like Zach King, who has people, millions of people watch every little thing he puts out,
Right.
Or Gary Vaynerchuk or Guy Kawasaki, or people that were in the audience that are as famous as these people that we didn't even know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of people there that just go there that have massive, connections. And then when you take all the traditional media entities that were there, it's pretty amazing. Like, for example, I bumped into the Christian Broadcasting CBN or CB something or another, and they do like all these different television shows, and the founder of the owner of Success magazine. I guess, millions of people get that magazine in the mail. The owner of the magazine was there, so like you don't even know who you're standing next to,
That's amazing.
And just the pure reach of these people is absolutely phenomenal. And of course, everything's blowing up on me right now.
I know. And Allie's saying Kayla was there, and just all the big brands was huge. That's so cool. Yeah, it was just an amazing time. And it was the first year it was in the conference center, in the convention center. So that was amazing. My legs are still recovering after all the walking.
Some interesting factoids that some people may not know. The San Diego Convention Center is home of Comic-Con International, which is one of the largest conferences in the world. 250,000 people come to San Diego for Comic-Con.
Wow.
So, and the convention center itself holds over 100,000, the space that we were in. So we are contracted through 2018 and about to sign 2019 contract. And there's just, it's a sixth of a mile from one end to the other. And anybody who was there knows, right? Like you got some serious steps in.
Yeah. Yeah. Erin is saying that she walked 8 miles on Tuesday.
Wow.
8 mile. Too bad we can't, you were connecting up the reach and the Instagram pictures. I would love to be able to connect all the Fitbits together. And
we've talked about that. I know there's a way to create a quote unquote Fitbit group. We just didn't really get around to doing it this year.
Oh, yeah.
But Fitbit did give us a couple of Fitbits to give away. So maybe next year they'll help us figure that out.
Yeah, that is awesome. So convention centers at 6 of them. I'm getting some of these stats down.
Well, the convention center itself is 1/3 of a mile from one end to the other. Okay.
All right.
So we had the new half of the convention center. For those of you that are there that walk from the Marriott, you kind of walk past the old half, and then all of a sudden you could tell there's a slight architectural design difference between the two. So the new half is we had the entire upper level of the new half, which was 650,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And then we had that huge room downstairs that was like 50 or 60,000, which is where the keynote was set up.
Right.
Just to give you some perspective, the square footage compared to what we had last year was like 5 times as big. I mean,
wow.
It's crazy.
That is amazing. The keynotes were just packed out every single time. Every single time it was just totally full, standing room only. Even all the way up to Tuesday. A lot of times people leave early, and I think everyone was there. There was a few people I heard of that were leaving early, but the keynotes were awesome. Yeah, and that's what Christina's saying. Keynotes were awesome.
Yeah, the production company that we use, one of the guys on the production company also does the Oscars, just to give you some perspective. So we upped our game on the production side. I mean, when I first walked into that keynote room, my jaw dropped, it's like, whoa. And I know a lot of people, and funny enough, I'll give you a little backstory. I was giving some of our staff a tour before they set up everything. And I said, okay, we're going to open this door and you guys are going to be shocked what you see on the inside, on downstairs. We opened the door. They hadn't set anything up yet. And as far as the eye can see is the entire down square level. And there's a massive semi-truck that looks like the size of a Tonka truck towards us inside of this thing. And everybody was like, they couldn't believe how big it was. And I said, no, we're not all that,
Yeah.
But it is so much space. It's pretty
awesome. Aaron's saying worth every penny. This is truly my favorite conference. It just is. It's so awesome. So I'm telling everyone, you got to go. I know there's so many people who were saying they were so bummed they missed it this year. We already had people in our group saying they're definitely coming next year because it's just so cool.
Are we going to let some people come in and share?
Yeah, let's unlock some seats here. And I know there's lots of people who attended. Oh, there's Mitch too. He was there. I didn't. And Jason is calling in. I'm gonna get on. And Jason said he had a wig. You better have a wig. And there's Allie calling in, and we're gonna.
I don't think I got the memo on the wig.
I know that's our thing. It's Friday night wigs and hats.
Oh,
Friday afternoon wigs.
I got a hat. I got a scout hat.
Yeah, go get a hat.
You guys, I still don't that voice.
Oh my gosh, Allie, look at that. I love that wig so much, Jason. That wig wins. The mullet wig.
I just let my hair down.
Oh yeah,
and,
Mike. I knew that's what you're getting, Mike.
That is so awesome. I love it.
Scout hat.
That is so perfect.
I just need a magnifying glass. My head's too big for this stuff.
Awesome. I love it.
Oh gosh, it's funny.
Oh wait, you got to put it back on, Mike. I want to screenshot it.
Yeah, no. As soon as you leave.
All right. Anyway, all right. So.
Oh my god,
that is awesome. That's so great.
All right, this is coming off.
Did you kill a squirrel or what is that?
What?
Yeah, look at that puff.
Isn't that awesome? I just got these little things down here.
You killed that rabbit
All right.
that I found at the Marriott.
No, but speaking of animals, did you hear the story about our events manager who had a seagull fly into his room at the Marriott?
Oh no! Oh no, that's
and
crazy.
He's kind of a country boy from the Appalachian Mountains in Virginia,
yeah.
and he had to catch it and throw it out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he captured the seagull, grabbed it by the legs, and threw it out like the 16th floor.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's so funny. Behind the
I
scenes.
know, you never know what we have to go through for you guys.
Exactly. So Jason, was this your fourth year or third year coming?
No, this was my second.
Second year.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, what'd you think? How was it?
I mean,
Isn't it awesome?
how can you just put it into, there was just a couple of things that really stood out, but no, I mean, it's everything. Talking about the keynotes and Mike, your opening session, I mean, that's the best information. I look forward to that. Yeah. And then really just solidifying a lot of the friendships made from last year. And everybody's just so helpful and willing to, I mean, throughout the year. I would say that's the biggest value, but you're not going to find anything better out there as far as just the variety of workshops and the good information. And this year, I left my phone on the table and I took notes using pen and paper. So that's a lot to digest, but that was the strategy this year.
Yeah,
and it's a good strategy. I always think that pen and paper helps you absorb the information more. So
yeah, I've heard that kinesthetically it can help you like learn a little bit more. I definitely feel like I retain it better if I'm writing it down. So what were some of your favorite tips that you got? What tip did you take away as a something that you need to start doing, something that's coming down the pike, something that just was an aha moment? What was something there?
Joe Polizzi's session with content marketing and just that rule of 3. Do 3 things to reach out to your audience. Whether it's an email newsletter that's awesome, engagement on a particular social network, a PDF giveaway, those types of things. Do 3 things, 3 pieces of content that are just super to offer your audience. So I tend to get overwhelmed and want to do 50 things, but really focus on 3.
Yeah, that's such a great thing because it can be overwhelming. We think all of a sudden we got to do this and do this and do this and do this. And, if you can just rock 3 things, that's awesome. Great takeaway. Yeah.
All right. I'll leave.
All right. Well, I love the wig. Awesome. We're going to let some other people who attended pop in because I know we've got a lot of attendees here.
Yeah, I was just going to say one thing and I'll pop out too. I just wanted to show you my awesome hat, but
I love it.
I didn't go to any sessions just because of my role this year, and I'm going to be watching them all on video. But I go for the people. It's the education is fantastic. But I'm there to make connections and make friendships. And I was a little bit overwhelmed by it this year. It's truly, there's no place else it's like a family reunion to me. But every year I keep adding to the family. And so it's really special that way. And that's my takeaway. So.
Right.
Stick around for a second, Allie.
Okay.
It sounds like you and everybody else has lost their voice. It's funny. Everybody else has.
I know my voice is a little.
Somebody was asking, for those of you that were there or that purchased the virtual tickets, the recordings are actually up. Not all of them, but I think there's like 50 of them up already. So you can start watching the keynote that I did and a bunch of the sessions. And we've never been able to move so fast. One of the benefits of this new production company is that they were able to provide us what we needed very, very rapidly. So you can actually go in there and start sucking down some. And for those of you like Allie who missed sessions, you can go in there and start watching them right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's really cool.
I will.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I will once I stop having to take naps every 10 minutes because I'm so tired.
So Anita, welcome. I love the wig, rocking the wig.
It's supposed to have a hat, but I didn't have an appropriate hat.
I want that wig now.
If I had known wigs were going to be such a big part of it, I would have brought some wigs with me.
Yeah, I know. Definitely. That definitely good with lots of people wearing wigs, including Grandma Mary. So
are we going to see her at all today?
Yeah, not today. She needs her own blab station, I think.
She's in recovery right now, right?
She is. She got some good interviews. So she interviewed John Loomer and got some good Ann Handley photobombed her, and so it was lots of fun. So Anita, tell us what you took away from the conference. What?
Oh, so much. It was my second year, and I was a last minute attendee this year. I couldn't make up my mind, and I bought the ticket at the last minute, but I was so glad to go. I met so many people that I've been blabbing with, and that was so much fun. So I met Jed, who's commenting over on the side.
Yeah.
And some other people that I'd met from Blab, and it was just so nice to be able to meet them in person.
Yeah.
And make those kinds of connections in person, because it's all about being human and making relationships like that. So that was really nice. But I really enjoyed the keynotes. Mark Schaefer, he had us
really great,
we were rolling in the aisles. We couldn't get over it. It was hilarious.
So I know Allie was dying laughing.
You were dying, Mike.
What was his chalupa thing or something? The taco chalupa?
Oh, the taco chalupa. I just about lost it. And Tina was sitting beside me crying her eyes out.
I know.
I think the funniest moment was when he put the spreadsheet up there and some guy yelled out like Excel, and then he said, "Are you with Microsoft or something?" I don't know. I don't remember exactly what went down, but he actually later said that he was just in a total flow state when he was up there, and he just kind of felt like he was like having an out-of-body experience while he was giving it, and he just felt like he connected with the audience, even though it was so huge.
Yeah,
he felt like he was just talking to a tiny little group of people. And I've experienced that before, and it's just awesome that happened to him and that the audience was connecting with him. And he really did end on a good note, I felt.
Yeah, it was great. It was really, really summarized everything so well, just about repurposing. And, I just, I love all the Taco Bell references were hilarious. So it was funny.
Yeah, I think that might have been my favorite one, but I also really enjoyed Michael Port, who had nothing to do with social media whatsoever, but was a fabulous workshop. Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah. I know I tried to get into that one. It was full. There was, but that's what I love about the fact that we've got recordings. Yeah. Cause I was running late, so.
Yeah, awesome. It's funny because something new we did this year, other than just go to the convention center, was also add these workshops, which were skills-based workshops for the most part, like how to use Canva, or how to write a blog post, or how to do story with Power Cowl on Sunday. Yeah. And it's just amazing because my podcast and the relationships that I have in the industry allow me to have this really broad swash of friends like Michael Port. And I could just tell when I walked into Michael Port's thing on heroic public speaking, people were just really digging it, Yeah. Because so many of us social media marketers, we don't necessarily have formal training in some of these kind of things we have to do now, right? Which is speak a lot more, right? On Blab even, right? So how do you do video and how do you talk and all that kind of stuff? I think they were a big hit. We haven't studied the data, but it certainly appeared as if people loved these skills workshops.
Yeah, I heard a lot of good feedback. And actually, Julia's just saying Ann Handley's workshop was brilliant. And I heard a lot of great feedback on the workshops. Now, the workshops were all an hour and a half. They were all 90 minutes long. Was that right?
Yes. They were extended. Yeah. They were meant to be kind of a deep dive, right? Because the sessions that normally like you would teach, Andrea, are like your typical 45-minute session.
Right.
But some people said last year they wanted to go deeper. So we started with all these workshops on Sunday.
Right.
Which kind of extended the conference to 2.5 days.
Yeah.
And then we put them in the afternoons on Monday and Tuesday, just a couple. And and they started also a little earlier. They started during lunch because some people said, I don't want to have that much networking during lunch. So for the people that were totally introverted that didn't want to sit around tables and network, they could cut out to a couple workshops.
Yeah.
And, we'll wait to see kind of how people thought about it, but it was a total experiment, but it certainly appeared as if people enjoyed it.
Right. Yeah. Getting good feedback on the side. People are saying the ones they attended were good. And I thought I had one more question about the workshop.
I'll jump off. One of the questions. I'll jump off and let somebody else in. I just wanted to say that I did the Park Howell one as well, and it was It was amazing.
Isn't he awesome?
Yeah. So I would totally attend Park Howells again and Michael Ports again if I had the opportunity. Loved them both.
What's great is we could do those exact same workshops next year, not change a thing, because we know it's kind of evergreen. You know, it's just as valuable.
Right.
Where with the social media stuff, like Andrea, if you were to do a workshop on Facebook next year, a session, you would have to totally change it because it's going to be different. We know it.
Yeah.
But if you do something on how to do story or how to speak, you know, those things they last forever.
Right.
So.
Now, someone was asking if, yep. All
Bye.
right. Thanks. We'll let a couple more people in and share their experiences. So, the other thing,
recordings, is that the question?
yeah, the other thing someone's asking is if they can still get recordings. So there's,
the virtual tickets are on sale until the end of the month, and you can go to social. You can. I'll put a link in.
Okay.
But yeah, it's $697 for the recordings.
okay. Awesome.
But if you attended, you get them all included.
Great. Awesome. And Allie, I'm going to boot you out and have another. We've
you
got
guys.
a few people who would. Yep. Thanks,
Bye,
Allie.
Get your voice back.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
I've lost
So
mine
we're
as
gonna-
well.
Oh, yeah, Erin. So if someone else who attended wants to give their thoughts, and Liz, awesome, coming in. So, and Erin, you've been 3 or 4 years.
No, this was year 2.
I was thinking you were gone longer. Liz,
Erin,
I
have
know
you lost
this
your
was
voice?
your first
Yes.
year.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is my first.
And that Liz's first year coming, attending. So, so what were your big takeaways? What were the kind of things that you guys took away? I know Erin, or you were like snapping up a storm.
Yeah. She kind of went the video
geo
route.
Filters.
Go ahead, Erin.
Yes, I totally did. So like the big things for me, obviously was the geo filter, and I know Ben was talking about that in the comments. So I have Ben help me get the geo filter all set up. So I owe him.
Which one was yours, Erin? Which one was yours?
I just had, it was the caricature of me, and it had Socially Powered in my name.
Did you look at the data on? Did you look at the data on it yet?
Yeah, so I screwed up. When I set it up, I was thinking mountain time. So I put, I was supposed to be 10 to 12 mountain and 3 to 5 mountain. And then it obviously it was Pacific time. So I was looking 10 to 12, but it really was 9 to 11 and 2 to 4. So I'm lesson learned.
I'll tell you what my thoughts are on the Snapchat filter, because we spent $1,000 and we covered everything.
Right.
You know, and our Snapchat filters only came up like 1 out of 3 times, and a lot of people, including myself, were really frustrated.
I agree, Mike. Many times I was like, why am I not getting? Because I wasn't getting your filters. People weren't getting my filters when I would get them. So that was.
It
really
makes me wonder
frustrating.
whether they just decided to sell extra filters because the demand was so high, and then they just decided to show a little bit one at a time, because that's kind of frustrating, because like some of the filters were obviously not, like there was a Nordstrom filter. What does that have to do with the conference, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and then was the Snap and Drive? Was that anybody's, or Don't Snap and Drive? Was that anybody?
That was Mitch Jackson.
Okay.
Which is here.
Okay. Cool.
That
I
one
didn't
came up a lot,
realize it was
Mitch. But yeah, but you know, I think it was Mitch's. If he's still here.
I would like
Yeah, I
to
think he's
know
still
what he covered, what his geo filter was for that, because do you know Austin Iliano? He's like big in Snapchat, and he did a whole thing on it the other day, and he had messaged me and said, hey, go check out my story, because he was using that geo filter. So
I think one of the big things that I took away from the conference that a lot of people were talking about was Snapchat for sure, but live video in general. And I think really not only, so here we are on Blab doing live videos, so we're participating in that already, but I think for sure just, you know, the trend towards video content, I think is huge. I think that's one of the things that was big. Mari Smith shared in her panel that Facebook gives some extra reach love to people who are live on video. And I'm actually going to go out and get an iPhone because I can't wait for the Android anymore.
They don't have it for the Android
you should
yet?
have it, Andrea. Everybody I know
don't.
has it.
Andrea, log out and log back in on your app. and see
I've
if it
done
shows.
that several times. I've rebooted. I'm going to try it again. I'll try it again before Android has it, Nancy. Oh, darn it.
Well, you know what? Do your kids have iPods or iPads?
Yeah, we do. So I could do it there.
Just do it with your iPad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mike
that's
That way you
true.
streams
don't
the
have to
day.
go buy anything.
Mhm.
I just saved you $300 in the contract.
Exactly. Thanks, Mike. It's awesome. So, Liz,
So,
what was
what
what was one of your takeaways? What first time attendee? What'd you think?
Well, I have been to conferences before, but obviously nothing to the scale of, social media marketing world. Obviously getting to meet all you people from, Andrea's social media manager school was awesome. And I was able to introduce myself to Mike. And I have to say, I thought it was really cool, Mike, that it was Tuesday afternoon, and I saw that you came over to like the networking lunch tables and you just sat down and ate your lunch and talked to whoever was there. And I thought that was really cool. And after that, I was able to kind of catch you, and I just wanted to introduce myself because I had written for the site a couple times last year. So
Awesome.
Obviously I met Andrea and Grandma, plus a bunch of the people in social media manager school. As far as takeaways go, I kind of did more of just the true social media and content. I know we're just talking about video, so I did more of the content tracks. Like Darren, pro blogger, I thought he had a really cool example of just of how like Google is taking, content and really kind of trying to give you answers to your questions without you necessarily needing to click through to whatever website provided those answers. And so he provided this really cool example of how he reworked a blog post that wasn't like his very best ever blog post, but still had some consistent, I think it had a few hundred views a day. And he repositioned the content to be like steps, like a step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And after he did, Google started actually presenting his section of that blog post in search results. So he was showing like how he revamped that old blog post. And then not only did that show up in search, if you think of there's only so much room for page 1 results, he now got a whole square because that information that Google presents, they kind of put a nice border around it and they present it very properly.
Yeah.
So like I thought
really
that was like a really useful,
That's a great
tip going forward. I thought Amy Porterfield's session was wonderful. Very just step by step. Here's what you do. Here's how you do it. Holly Homer had some really great information about how she approaches just totally organic. I mean, if anyone was listening to her session, just the fact that she grew her page, just to even say massive is an understatement. Basically completely organically, and her Neapolitan method which you'd have to watch to see what her Neapolitan method is.
Yeah, she has like how many million fans on her page? Millions, right?
Yeah, it's nuts.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
so like some of those were, kind of the big nuggets off the top of my head that I appreciated.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. And I just have to give a shout out to Liz and Christina for they made these bracelets.
I have mine on.
Do you really? That's so funny. I wore it.
I didn't think about it.
So we were joking about about little tips, and they made me bracelets of what would Andrea do?
What is now? What would Andrea do?
I know.
I still have some too.
You guys are so awesome.
Did anybody here see Zach King speak?
I couldn't get in. I wanted in so bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
awesome.
he emailed me and he said he wanted to come back to social media marketing world. And I said, of course, I'll make a spot for you.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if he's the one that won the race. He's in the final 6 or 5 now in the Amazing Race.
Oh, really?
I wonder if, who knows, he could be the winner of the Amazing Race. I mean, he knows if he won or not.
I didn't realize he was speaking until after his session. And my whole family, we lay in bed Friday nights, we DVR Amazing Race. And then like the kids, we all watch it as a family. And my girls were like, Zach was there. They were so excited.
The funny thing is, he's kind of normal on the race. He's not as crazy.
Yeah. He's one of our favorites. Him and his girlfriend are one of our favorites for anyone who.
Yeah, I think it's his wife.
Okay.
They're married now, yeah. So that's cool, though. I love it. That's really cool.
Awesome.
So we have true television celebrities now.
That's so cool. So let's see. Any other takeaways that you guys had, or we'll let a few more people. I know that Lisa
I was just gonna add. I felt like this year I had a different approach to what I did at the conference. I spent a lot more time connecting and building relationships with people that I had met last year instead of, I mean, I still went to sessions, but I didn't necessarily go to sessions that I thought I would get the most out of. I went to sessions to support people, you know, like to see my friends and support them in their sessions and take pictures and, you know, all that. So it was just a little bit of a different approach where, last year I was all about like, oh my God, I need to learn this. So I have to be in this, you know, in this session.
Well, I think it provides for whatever kind of experience you want, you know, like you can take it whichever direction you want to take it. So I think that's a testament.
Well, you could go back and watch the recordings,
well,
right?
That's exactly what I was like, well, it doesn't matter if I'm actually there because I have access. So that's
and
why
I have to give to connect. And I have to give a big plug to the recordings for everyone who is here listening in. Last year I went through and listened to almost not all the recordings because there's a lot, but I went through a lot of recordings, and I'm telling you, they are just filled with such good takeaways, such good ideas, and it'll really get you your mind rolling around things that you can implement in your business and time savers and all kinds of good stuff. So
can I comment on what Erin said too? Because I think that people that are new to the conference come for the content and to meet the people, but they come back for the relationships.
Yes. Yeah. So true.
And I think, like, here's the deal. Some people learn better when they're in a room where they know other people are learning with them, and that's why they want to go into the room. But if you can reprogram your thinking and say to yourself, I can learn just as well watching the exact same thing on recording, but what I can't do is build relationships outside of that physical presence. Like, you're never going to, and you knew this, Erin, you're never going to see all these people that you want to meet in one place anywhere ever. And that's that opportunity, and you don't know what's going to come out of that, right? When you make these relationships with people, it kind of like bonds you together like glue in a way that you can never do online. And that's when stuff happens. That's where the magic happens. Yeah. And a lot of people don't get that. And what's cool is a lot of people don't realize the speakers don't go to sessions. They all hang out in the halls. So what better time to hit them up than when no one's around them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true.
Anyways.
So
cool. Absolutely, Mike.
All right. We got about 12 minutes left. I'm going to open it up for a couple more people. Thanks, guys. Great.
Bye. Mike. Andrick. Love the wig. Bye, Mike. Good to see you.
Where's my hat?
Yeah. So there's Jed calling in. Come on in, Jed. I love that hat, Mike. There's Jed. Hey, Jed. And awesome. We got a couple people.
Hey, Jed.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Are you still in San Diego?
No. I'm back in the office here in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Hey, Lisa.
Awesome. And Lisa's calling in from LA, but originally from down under.
Yes, I'm here until Monday. I don't have to go back until Monday. So that's nice.
Nice. That's good.
Hey, Lisa.
Great.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, Jed, I want to know this question too. What camera are you using? That it looks kind of fisheye.
I put a fisheye lens on my MacBook Air. So.
Nice. There's not fisheye. And
is that one of those lenses that you just stick right over the top kind of thing?
Let's see. It's a clip-on.
Oh,
yeah. Cool.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Awesome.
Better view of the surroundings. And I wanted to show, some people are asking the filters. Here's one of the filters. I don't know if you can see.
Cool.
Yeah, you made a cool filter, Jed. When my filter didn't work, I used yours.
Well, I wanted to have a postcard home for people to share from San Diego. Yeah. I felt like the self-portrait on your GeoFilter was a little bit, I don't know, that just wasn't my thing. So I looked for a different approach, and I thought having like a postcard filter would be cool, and so that's what I did.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'd love to hear your takeaways.
So I think
by the way, somebody should lower
there's a little echo. Yeah, someone's got to.
Lisa or Jed should lower your volume because there's some feedback coming in your microphone.
Yeah, there we go. That's sounding better.
So I think I'm just gonna probably rehash the same comments that other people said. Just meeting the people. Going there, I just wanted to meet new people and revisit my friends that I hadn't seen in a while. And so I was able to do that. And thanks to the volunteer team, I was able to have time to do that. But also what was unexpected to me was the team of volunteers. We really grew to be really like a family. We really felt like we were an extension of the social media examiner team. And that really, I was not expecting that. So as a volunteer, awesome. I felt like I had a whole new group, and most of the volunteers I hadn't met before. So it was really fun for me to be able to get to meet the rest of the volunteer team. And that was the biggest surprise for me was how great those people were, and the fact that I hadn't met just about all of them. I mean, 80% of them I hadn't met before. That was a surprise to me.
That's cool.
I'll give you a little secret. We recruit volunteers from people that typically were former attendees. So most of the volunteers you probably met, Jed, this wasn't their first time there, right?
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
And we've got some volunteers, like I forget the guy from India. Did you remember his name? Natishi or Natchi or something like that. Some of these guys, like, they wanted to come back, but they couldn't afford to come back. And we said, look, if you can come, you can get here, and you're willing to work, we'll put you to work. And it just was great, because who better to kind of personify the experience than someone who's already been there before?
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
So, that's awesome.
And we just loved our volunteers. Some people have been volunteering for 4 years in a row and will continue to volunteer because it's such a kind of a cool experience. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a very unique experience to kind of create a fun environment for other people. Is very rewarding. Didn't you think that?
Yeah, I did not appreciate how unique an experience being a volunteer there was going to be, and it was really, really something special. I really enjoyed it quite a bit.
That's cool. So we have some questions about people asking, how do you apply, or how can you, is it recruitment only, or is there an application process?
No, honestly, Jed, maybe you can explain, because I don't know the process. How was it?
So in the fall, I believe it was Phil that put out, just kind of sent out the word that, hey, we are accepting applications for volunteer, and there was a web page for volunteers to go to and apply. And basically you just kind of put in your info and what you're willing to do, and they would kind of sort it out. And there's a lot to do, folks. So for people who didn't go, I cannot express to you how much stuff has to take place for this to come off great. And so there were quite a bit of volunteers there, and we were much needed to get all this stuff together. And it's a lot of work. So it's not like, don't go looking to volunteer just to kind of be able to pop in and get some behind the scenes. Be ready to work, because I didn't go to any sessions. I know Allie didn't either. But I'm okay with that. Like I said, the experience I got was something special. And the time I wasn't volunteering, I was getting a lot of great networking time and getting to meet all kinds of new people. And I knew that I would be able to access the videos. So, but it's awesome. So volunteering sounds great, but it's a lot of work. So it's
not just like an hour session of hour plug-in. It's you're working, but you have to. There's so much that needs to go on, and what I think is the conference is so well. It's so customer service friendly. Like, I lost my phone and someone like ran and got it for me from Lost and Found. It's just like they're like, let me do that for you. So it's really highly elevated customer service at this kind of conference. You don't get that at most conferences.
Absolutely. We did our very best to be over the top. I know there was a person who was talking with a volunteer at one of the lunches, and he said that the drinks there weren't really his thing. He couldn't really find something that he liked to drink. She said, what do you like to drink? what do you like? He said, I don't know. I like Mountain Dew or whatever. But the next day, she happened to have gone past a convenience store and got a 6-pack of Mountain Dew. And the next day, there was Mountain Dew for this guy who couldn't find something that he liked to drink. So that's the kind of over-the-top stuff that the volunteers were doing.
Amazing.
It was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
It was like we were trying to outdo each other for like what can we do?
Surprise and delight. Surprise and delight.
I had fun. One time I was stationed nearby the selfie area that had like the Social Media Examiner logo in the
step
back.
and repeat for the conference.
Yeah, where you'd take pictures and you had the backdrop there and everything. And I would run over when I saw people taking pictures. I would say, let me take that picture and help them with poses and stuff, because they were all too hesitant to make any funny poses. So I was trying to encourage them to make something fun out of it, and had a great time doing that.
Awesome.
Yeah, all the volunteers went through pretty extensive training.
Yeah.
Got to understand kind of how we make the sausage and in the factory, so to speak. And a lot of people that were volunteers are now employees at Social Media Examiner. And it's just it's a way for us to kind of get to know people, and build relationships too, and that's something a lot of people don't think about, is the relationship building side of it is pretty strong, with the team at Social Media Examiner. Lisa, what was your experience at the conference? I don't think we got a chance to ask you.
No, I was actually volunteering as well. I was a hotel ambassador this year. This was my 3rd year, so I was there the 1st year, 2nd year, missed last year, and actually it's quite funny how I came into this role, because I was chatting with Phil online during the Australian Open. He was watching it at some crazy hour over here, and I was sitting at home watching it on telly, and he asked me if I was coming over, and I said probably not. Our Australian dollar is just crazy low at the moment against the US dollar. And he told me about the opportunity, so I jumped onto it, and here I am. So it was amazing. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It really was fantastic. And to see it from the other side, having been here a few years before, and how much it's grown, oh my goodness. It was just wonderful to now have that perspective from both sides, and to see the amount of work. It's just ridiculous, the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes, and to be in the hall when they actually put up the social media marketing sign in the main hall. We saw the unwrapping of it as they took the plastic of it and they hung it up on the stage. We're like, oh my God, wow.
Yeah, were you there? Yeah,
we were doing
the little crew that I was giving the tour.
We were doing the tours.
Right?
We were doing the volunteer tours in the afternoon, getting an overview of the amount of miles that we had to walk in the coming days. So it was like, wow, this is just going to be amazing. And we were talking to a few. I said, can you, this is just so much bigger than the first year that we were here. And so it was fantastic.
Well, how many people were at that first conference, Mike? Because that was amazing for a first conference. It was like 700 or 600.
It was like 11 or 1,200 actually.
For the very first year you had it, you had that many people.
Yes,
oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, it was 11 or 1,200 for year one, and then we went to 1,800 in year 2, and then we went to 2,200 in year 3, and then 3,000 in year 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, what's funny is we had 1,800 people on the aircraft carrier, by the way.
Oh my gosh!
At that pre-event party.
Yeah.
That's more than the entire first conference.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, no. So it was just amazing, and I didn't get to see all the sessions, obviously, because I was helping out, and I was there with Jed in the in networking plaza and chatting to everyone. I helped reunite somebody with their iPhone, and they could have kissed me.
I know.
So no, it was really good. But I guess one of my bigger takeaways was from your actual keynote, Michael, when you were talking about the two big things that were happening at the time, which was Facebook Live, of course, and Snapchat. And Snapchat's not something that I'm really familiar with, and I just don't quite get it. And so I went along to Carlos's session. There were 2 sessions that I earmarked that I wanted to go to because I didn't know about Snapchat. And Carlos's was one of them, and Sean McBride's was the other. So I went to Carlos's, and I was like, oh, well, okay, because it was all about how to get connected for the business side of it. And I thought, well, okay, I can see that. And then I went to Sean's, and he was full of energy, and it was all fun. And But I thought that's going to be hard work to really get engagement for a business. And I can see the possibility of how it can be used for a niche market, for an adventure type market, people throwing themselves out of planes and scuba diving. Like I live in tropical North Queensland, home to the Great Barrier Reef, and I can see it working really well in that environment. So it's something that I'm going to be educating myself a little bit more on, so I can actually perhaps educate those in my region to how it can help them.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about that Corner Pocket acapella group? Did you guys see that before Gary Vaynerchuk's keynote?
Yeah, I liked
that
it.
was good. Yeah.
It was two guys and two gals, and
Yeah.
they were singing,
That's fun.
beatboxing, and all that kind of stuff, and they were amazing.
Yeah.
I purposely tell them some things I don't want to know, just surprise me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like I saw at the top of the escalator, there was like, I don't know if Lisa or Jed, you were part of this, but when people were coming up the escalator on day one or whatever, they would get like cheered and stuff like that.
No, I was already in the hall, but I heard about it and I saw some of the photos.
Did you experience that at all, Andrea, or no?
I did. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, so
I know. I was like, woo!
One of our goals is to take this massive space, because our biggest fear was going to be you move to the convention center and it doesn't feel intimate. Yeah. So we created all these kind of experiences, designed, engineered, if you will, so that people felt like they were not in a massive place. They felt kind of small and intimate, and just the placement of all the volunteers and staff, and the woohoo when you come up the escalator, and just all that stuff, the little DJ rocking her little DJ music near the surfboards. All that kind of stuff was all designed to make it not feel as crazy humongous as it was.
Yeah. And I think the hotel ambassadors was a good idea too, because I would speak to them first, especially on the first day of arrival. They would come and have a chat to us and like have really no idea. I said, well, actually, it's just you're in the best hotel, because I was at the Omni. Because you're literally walking straight across the road right into the hall. That's it. You don't have to walk an extra couple of miles a day. It's just right there. And just because I'd been to San Diego before, was be able to help them out. So, and I did the walk the first morning that you didn't go to, Andrea, by the way. Can I just say no? Look, I got my What Would Andrea Do badge here, and
I slept in. That's what I did.
And that was great. Actually, I did the run, and I probably shouldn't have done it because I didn't realize how much walking I had ahead of me for the following day.
My legs were about to fall off after the end of the day.
No, I think that was a great idea to have those ambassadors there, Mike.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, I'm going to pop out. Thanks again.
Yeah, me too.
I really enjoyed it. Such fun. Great time.
Thank you,
see if
Lisa.
There's a couple more people who want to go in. Come in if you want to talk about your experience. Oh, right, Mitch. Awesome. Come on in. And Mitch,
the escalators, by the way, were programmed so that we could have all three going up at once if we wanted to, or we could have two going up and one going down. It was like one of those highways where you can move it. Yeah. And all three of them were going up at once as these thousands of people were pouring out, so that lots of people could be. I think at one point all three of them were going, but anyways, Mitch, cool. How are you? I didn't see you, but for a couple seconds, what'd you think?
I loved it. And that's why I wanted to pop on. I forgot I made the request. I'm sitting here working and listening, and then it keeps your request in queue on Blau.
Oh, it does.
That's interesting. I didn't think. I got to remember that.
It is.
It'd be embarrassing.
Yeah.
So, Mike, I wanted to say to you and your staff, I've been to a lot of conferences around the world. I felt like I was treated as though I walked into the Ritz-Carlton or the St. Regis. I mean, or the Montage. Awesome. It was what Jed talked about, the way they went out of their way to grab somebody a 7-Up or whatever it was. That's the experience I felt. And it surprised me walking into a convention center. I was expecting something a little bit different, but it was personable. Now I know why. I mean, I just listened to how you set things up. One of the best conventions I've ever been to. I drove down from the OC each day, which was 55 minutes. No big deal.
Oh, wow. Next time you'll probably want to stay in San Diego.
No.
Oh, you don't mind driving back?
No, and listen, it looked like a lot of fun. I liked being home at night. And all right. So what I'm saying is, if people are from the OC, it's an easy drive, and it's well worth it. I think, Mike, what I really enjoyed is it was obvious to me that everyone helping you was very well prepared and trained. And it showed, and it made it an experience that I looked forward to after being down there on Monday, coming back on Tuesday. Your speakers, I don't know if you actually sat down with them and told them, hey guys, I want you to, to socialize with our guest out in the lobby. But they all went out of their way to just be as friendly as possible.
We engineered it so that that's the only option that they have. At other conferences, speakers have a green room or a speaker room, and we purposely did not design one, and we did not do that from day one. And what that did, and what's great is all those sessions were on one gargantuous hallway, so the speakers were just hanging out in the halls, which is exactly what we wanted, so that people could come up to them and meet them, and it's good for the speakers and for the attendees. But we didn't. All the speakers had handlers, right? Andrea, was it Jessamine that you were working with?
Yeah. I thought you meant handlers like the whole time, but no, But yeah, I mean, we all were prepped really well. We had a speaker resource sheet that, and I think it's really done it's so smooth, everything for the speakers and so it's, and I think that the people you have there, Mike, are people who want to connect with people. They realize that this is, it's good to meet people and be connected to your audience. And you don't get divas there who are like, can't hang out at all or say.
Even Gary Vaynerchuk, when he came, he had an impromptu meetup at the Marriott Marquis, and he had 300 people show up.
I heard about that.
And he was mobbed until 2 a.m. And I wasn't there because I had to rest for the morning. But people that were there said he never got up once to use a restroom, to get something to drink, or to eat something. He just stood there. And even after his keynote, he stood there until the very last person left. So we try to get people that understand the value of being present,
And you did a good job. Before I pop off, I thought the networking area where you could go in and grab a biscuit, something to drink, that was a great open venue that allowed for conversation and networking. The table talks, Mike, were a lot of fun. I thought that was a great idea. It was hard to keep everybody focused on the table talk because everybody wanted to socialize. If you follow me.
Yeah, depending on what table you were on, we actually had table talk leaders at most of the tables, but I'm not. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So, but you're right. It's hard because, but still, mostly the job is just to get conversation started. Once they're talking, it's all golden.
It was golden. But
thank you for doing that, Mitch.
It's my pleasure. And thanks for putting on just a great conference, you guys. Yeah. And we'll see you again next year.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thanks, Mitch.
Jessica, you were a volunteer, right?
I was one of the hotel ambassadors and was on a panel.
Which hotel?
I was at the Embassy Suites. So it was a great idea to have the hotel ambassadors because we were able to, let everybody know about the meetups and then also schedule extra meetups too. So the people that didn't want to go on the cruise or, they still wanted to hang out after, the events had happened, we were able to easily organize some other events, and we were walking over to the convention center together, answering questions. We created just like our own little Facebook group after for some of the people that weren't Slack savvy. So we created a Facebook group, and it was a great idea to have those hotel ambassadors. And also I like that you had the lanyards for the 2 different colors. So the orange, so you can easily identify the people that have been there, multiple years, but then also the people that had the white lanyards that you could easily come up and say, hey, it's your first time here, what do you think? Right. And it was an easy way to identify those people. So if you've seen somebody kind of standing there by themselves and they had the white lanyard on, you could easily go over there and just start a conversation with them.
Yeah.
We have little internal codes that most people don't know about, but if see, this is orange and mostly orange and white, where all the other ones are mostly white and orange.
Yeah.
So if they had one of these lanyards, it meant they've been there 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
And it meant they're like serious alumni, hardcore customers. Make sure you like really be nice to them because they're obviously our most loyal fans. And then if they just had the alumni on it, it meant that they were second year. And again, that was special. So, but most people didn't even understand these little kind of unwritten codes that we used.
I didn't catch the lanyard color. That's really interesting. I love that.
Yeah, but all this volunteers and staff and personnel knew what it meant, and it would immediately start a conversation, right? Jessica, you could say, so is this your 3rd or 4th year, right? You know what I mean?
Exactly. It was an easy conversation starter. Yeah, it was perfect.
Exactly.
Easy way. And the table talks, again, just to echo what, Mitch was saying, that was a great idea. So you could go over and just kind of pop in right into a conversation. And it's the one conference, I have to say, I've attended lots of conferences, but it's still the one that even like it's large, even though you've grown over the years, you still feel more connected and build more friendships. I feel like at this conference, it's almost like a reunion / conference. So there were
Yeah.
so many. Thank God for the recorded sessions, because there were so many of them that I just stayed and talked to and then realized, oh my gosh, we're 30 minutes into the next session.
I know.
Might as well just keep talking.
Yeah, for sure.
Other thing are these like little photo strips. These are like, I love them, that they are printed out right
Now, where
there.
was
I
that?
have all of them like on my desk.
Was Hootsuite doing that? Hootsuite was doing that in their booth or
Hootsuite
something?
and Simply Measured. Simply Measured was doing it at the Midway, and then you could go back to their booth later, which is smart. They gave you like the little numbers on the back of your lanyard that you could go back to their booth later and pick up your photos. So
smart. I did not realize that. There's so many things I didn't even see.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
they had, I thought, the booths were nice. I think all of the vendors had good ideas for bringing people in. So it was really good.
Yeah, another booth, Gaggle, I think it was. That was what at least was on their
Gaggle Amp.
Yeah. So they would give you t-shirts, but you had to take the picture with the shirt in front of their booth and then tag them in it. So another great idea for anyone that's going to be a vendor at any conference. You can use these ideas because they're all very, very smart.
Yeah.
Ideas.
And I like the Simply Measured bingo where you had to turn it in at the Simply Measured, the networking bingo. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great way to meet people. Actually, that's how Mike Gingrich and I, we met. We started a Blab show after that, but we met during the networking bingo the very first year at the Natural History Museum.
Yeah. That
very cool.
Oh, and you guys were both the ambassador in the same hotel, right?
Yep.
That's
We've
cool.
been friends ever since. So
awesome.
That is cool.
I mean, I can't tell you how many people have started businesses and shows and all this kind of stuff,
huge
partnerships and jobs that they've gotten because they were working for company X and then they decided, or even starting businesses as a result of this thing. So
we have a mastermind of 6 people, and we've all met at Social Media Marketing World, and we've been in the same mastermind for 4 years. So it's been great and instrumental, definitely, for my business.
You guys are awesome. You guys are all like official sales ambassadors for.
I'm not even trying. I'm just telling the truth.
I know, right? We're just talking about how awesome it was.
Serious.
So that is great. So thank you so much. That's awesome.
Yeah,
well,
I'll let somebody else pop in, but
well,
I just
on
want
that
to say
note, I think we're usually this is a 45-minute show.
Hour.
I know usually it's a 45-minute show, but I wanted to keep going because we had so many great people coming in and sharing their experiences. So we'll wrap it up on that beautiful bow of a sentiment with how awesome Social Media Marketing World is. And I can see we've already got people signing up as we, for next year. And it's, if anyone is on the fence about signing up, you've got to go. It's so great. So
I
we'll all
don't
be
have
there.
a wig, but I have ET.
Oh my
that
word!
counts, so.
We've got ET, an explorer, and a pink-haired girl.
This is awesome.
Maybe you could be an alien, Andrea.
All right.
That
Have a good rest
is so
of your
cool.
week, guys.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah,
Let me
thanks
pop in.
everyone. And thanks so much, Mike, for coming on and sharing your behind the scenes thoughts with us too. It's been great to hear your perspective and I think it's definitely great to have us be able to share our love personally with you for Social Media Marketing World.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrea.
Yeah.
And thank you for the relationship we've had for a long time. And I'm just, we're in this for the long run.
Yeah.
So Social Media Marketing World is going to be around for a long time. And my hope is that I'll see you all there next year.
We'll be there.
And with that, I'll call it a day.
All right.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thanks, everyone. Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bye, everybody.